Welcome to a new scented video. I'm Stella and today I will share with you the new fragrances in my collection, the perfumes that I have added since my last haul, which as far as I remember was in December, where I shared with you my Christmas pile of perfumes. And since then I have managed to amass about 12 perfumes and 2 that are on the way. They are supposed to be arriving tomorrow, but I will talk about these later. Let's jump right in. We have 12 perfumes to go through. Starting off in no particular order, I have here Kenzo Amour, and this is kind of bigger than my head. The most tallest bottle I have. I got the 100 ml, and this one is a tea and rice kind of centric perfume. It was recommended to me when I was kind of asking for suggestions for perfume that smells like rice pudding, you know, the Christmas rice pudding with the cinnamon and vanilla. And while this one has rice in it, it also has the notes of heliotrope, frangipani, vanilla. While this is a very soothing, relaxing, creamy, I really enjoy this scent. I tend to wear it to bed. It is not the kind of a desserty Christmas rice pudding that I was hoping for. It's lacking the spicy element, it's lacking the warmth. So I am still on the lookout for my perfect Christmas pudding scent, but until then I will enjoy using this one. Mostly I wear it to bed because it's very relaxing. The next perfume I definitely can't wait to talk about is Boucheron Ambre Alexandrie. This giant bottle of 100, I think, in 20 ml. I am already kind of up to here and have not been using it kind of all the time, so I think I will go through quite fast. And I love this scent so much. This is incredibly delicious, boozy, a little bit of a tobacco, so it is similar to another perfume that I will talk about later on. It's incredibly tasty. It's got a transparent quality to it as well. I got it because it was said to be similar to Ambre Narguilé by Hermes and Angel's Share by Kilian, which you know I'm obsessed with. And I can see the resemblance in this one definitely. It is kind of not so heavy on the woodsy side as is Angel's Share. I find Angel's Share to be more delicious and more on the gourmand side. This is very sophisticated, incredibly well balanced perfume. It's got a transparent quality to it, so it's not heavy in a sense, but it's definitely very present, and I have been wearing it like crazy. Let me know if you want to have, I in fact will do a video comparison of Boucheron compared to Wajon by Parfums de Marly, maybe a little bit of spoiler here, and Angel's Share, and I'll talk about how they're similar and how they're different. And for me this has been an absolute win, and yeah, as you can see, I've loved using it, and in fact I want to spray it all over now, but I have more perfumes to go through, so let's continue. Moving on to my next pick. This is a new brand to me, Exuma, and I think the perfume is Velvet Cashmere, or at least that's how I pronounce it. This one, I think the brand is based out of Poland, and I was super curious because this is a very affordable price point for their regular line, and I know that they do have like an exclusive line which is a bit more expensive. I love the bottle, it's huge. And this one, I will read you the notes directly from Fragrantica. So we have bergamot, cinnamon, rose, cedar, amber, pepper, vetiver, and musk and patchouli. And this one was compared to Shalimar by Guerlain, and I can see why. It does have this woody kind of a very sophisticated vibe about it. I just can't stop smelling this one. It does have a very beautiful zesty bergamoty vibe, but it has the vetiver and the woods that are supporting it, creating something very uplifting, very classy. And it is much more fresher than Shalimar, and it lacks this kind of a spiciness that Shalimar has. It is so beautiful. I can see this in the warmer months because it's definitely a perfume that would bloom in the heat, and performance wise pretty good. I really love it. So yeah, this is all I can say for now, but if you're on the lookout for a very nice perfume for the warmer months, something that is classy, not sugary in a way, similar to Shalimar but not at all a flanker. It's kind of in the same vibe, but it doesn't smell like Shalimar to me. It's much more zesty in a way, and yeah, it's much more brighter as a perfume. But for the price point and this beautiful bottle, I would say give it a try if you're curious. Once again, this was Exuma Velvet Cashmere. Next up, I have 3 fragrances from the same house. I have spoken about them in my collection video, but I didn't mention them in the haul. And this is the house from Van Cleef and Arpels. And the first perfume that I have here is my favorite, Bois. And this one is something so scrumptiously delicious and comforting. Very warm, fluffy, sweet. It got tonka and also pepper, tobacco, vanilla, teak wood. So yeah, you can definitely sense the woodiness, and it has a vibe that is similar to almondy or a bit creamy, but the tonka is adding such a vibe of a bit powdery sense and a sweetness. There is a tobacco, but it's not really noticeable in a way that you could sense it as a tobacco. It just adds depth in the fragrance. And I find this to be incredibly cozy, very comforting, beautiful, beautiful warm scent. If you are on the market for perfume for the colder months, Bois for me, it was an instant love when I smelled it. They are all blind buys in here, so I didn't know what I was getting into. I have just kind of heard the hype on YouTube, and really beautiful, very successful blind buy for me. I recommend it if you like warm, sweet scents. Bois from Van Cleef and Arpels. Another perfume from Van Cleef and Arpels, the same line, is Ambre Imperial, and this one was also blind buy. And what I really find striking about this perfume is that it reminds a lot of Hermès Ambre de Merveille, but it has more body to it. It is more rounded, has more depth. But as a scent profile, if you enjoy L'Ambre de Merveille but you want something more substantial and potentially better lasting, because the Hermès one has issues with, you know, the lasting power. They are very transparent fragrances, and sometimes you want something more present. Van Cleef and Arpels Ambre Imperial is that. It contains notes of amber, tonka, benzoin, all of the warm ingredients to make a completely perfect ambery, snuggly scent without being too sweet. It has a bit of vanilla too, but this one is just warm without being overly sweet, as Bois was much more on the sweeter side. So this one, if you want something a bit more balanced, a bit more neutral in a way, and if you enjoy L'Ambre de Merveille by Hermès, give this one a try. And my third pick from Van Cleef and Arpels, their extraordinaire line, is the very famous Orchidee Vanille. I have heard so much about it, and as I am a big gourmand lover and vanilla lover, I've been aware about this perfume for a long time and really curious to try it. And if you read the reviews, lots of people are saying that this one is quite weak in terms of performance. The way it smells though, it's super scrumptious, warm and delicious. It does smell like vanilla, but it has hints of chocolate and violet, and I can very clearly sense them. I am usually not a fan of violet or iris heliotrope kind of scented perfume, but in here it does have a supporting role, so it's very just a hint, and it actually pretty interesting in a way that they're blended. It does have a twist to the typical, you know, vanilla. So this, in a way that it smells also very transparent, it's beautiful. So if you like vanilla scents and you want something with a bit added, like a dark cocoa, this is a really good one to try. But please bear in mind that it is a more airy, more transparent perfume, so it would stay closer to the skin. But yeah, I can't speak yet in terms of longevity because I've usually overspray with this one, and I get 3-4 hours out of it. So maybe it will perform better on like a bit warmer, like on the evening in the warmer months. I don't know, that's a bit unconventional way to wear vanillas, but I do think that this is a vanilla that is safe for places where you don't want to kind of everyone to know that you're wearing a vanilla fragrance. And it is a much more sophisticated vanilla in a way. So this one is interesting to try, but bear in mind that it's not the strongest on the market. Orchidee Vanille by Van Cleef Arpels. Now, speaking of strong scents, I'll present to you Instant Crush by Mancera. I had a sample of this one and I fell in love with the way it smells. It is similar to Baccarat Rouge 540 by Maison Francis Croquejean, but this one is kind of more on the unisex side, I see it. And they're different enough in my mind. But yeah, honestly, it does have the same burnt sugar, airy vibe to it, but it also has something that reminds me of a perfume that could be Initio Parfums. It does have this kind of like a more punchy essence in it. How I see Baccarat Rouge when I spray it is that it does have this like a sugary cloud that surrounds you, but in the center it's kind of hollow and you can't smell it on yourself very well. But this one has the same sugary aura, but in its heart it has a bit more punchy. I don't know if it's jasmine. Yeah, it is jasmine apparently. So it has Egyptian jasmine, patchouli, a rose, amberwood, sandalwood, oak moss, bergamot, etc. And you can really sense the jasmine heart in it. And that's maybe what reminds me of Initio Parfums. I don't exactly now remember what was the name of it, but there was one scent that was very similar in a way, that the jasmine part of it without the sugar vibes. But yeah, this to me is actually, I prefer this over Baccarat Rouge. This is a bit more masculine in a way, even though it's not at all a masculine perfume. But I mean, if you're a man and you think that you want to wear Baccarat Rouge, but you find it a bit more on the feminine side, I think this one could be something you want to check out, because it does have a bit more, it's a bit more edgy Baccarat Rouge, let's say it like that, but totally unisex. I would wear this all day long, and I have used up quite until here. So this, as every Mancera, beast mode performance, really strong, beautiful. I love this one. Yeah, it was a successful. It's not a blind buy because I sampled. It's a one. This is maybe the one non-blind buy in my collection, but I fell in love with the sample. So, yep, it's a good one. The next perfume is something I picked up also on the same shopping trip as the Mancera, and this is from Nobel 1942, La Danza, the Labelulle, or the Dance of the Dragonflies. This got on my radar from Emmy's World of Fragrance, her channel. She has amazing perfume collection, and our tastes quite often very similar, so she was raving about it and I decided to pick it up. And this one is a really like a very sweet apple pie, like red apples, I imagine. Lots of vanilla. Let me go through the notes super quick. Oh yeah, it does have red apple, cinnamon, cedar, vanilla, coconut and musk. And I was reading the reviews on this one, and someone said that this smells like Christmas candle, or like apple cinnamon candle, and I can see where they're taking this. I guess the coconut is somehow mixing up with the apple and the cinnamon and creates a little bit of a plasticky, waxy kind of vibe, which it doesn't smell like wax or plastic, but just the there is this aspect of this perfume. I don't get like straight up cinnamon from this one, but it does have a spicy, warm edge to it. A little bit on the strong side, the way this smells when you initially spray it on, but I think it mellows down on the skin and becomes much more beautiful then. On the initial spray, I was like, wow, this is really like a artificial apples kind of scent, and I can definitely sense the candle kind of comparison. But on the strip here, it's really delicious. So I imagine that this is kind of like on the first spray and then it mellows down. The bottle, guys, absolute gorgeousness. Absolutely love it. So this one is something that I think it will grow on me. It's not a love, but it's a like. And I think the only thing that I have kind of holding against it is a bit this candle. Maybe I shouldn't have read this comment because it's playing on my mind a lot. And I'm like, this smells like I'm wearing a candle. But it is quite nice if you like sweet apple pie kind of scents. I think it's worth sampling if you can. So again, La Danza de Labelulle by Nobel 1942. The next perfume I picked up secondhand. I saw it sold on kind of like 1/3 of its price, and this is Zehira by Bulgari. This bottle is ginormous. I don't think I'm a fan of these bottles. I know they're unique and everything, but it's just such a pain to store, especially because the smaller side is the one that should hold all this weight, so I feel like it will topple over. Anyhow, this one is Zehira by Bulgari. I don't anymore remember if I mentioned. And oh yeah, so the comments on Fragrantica were like, this is the best, most amazing, and I decided to, you know, give it a shot because it was a blind buy, but it was such a good deal that I'm like, I will never pay full price for this, so I might as well pick it up when I have the chance. And this one is for the fans of kind of like beachy yellow florals. It has 3 notes only, cinnamon, ylang and benzoin. And it is very sunny, very warm and florally. I don't sense the cinnamon as a punchy cinnamon, but it does add kind of depth to the perfume. It is really happy, uplifting scent. I don't think performance-wise it is warrants the insane price. I think this retails for like €300 for 100 ml. It is a really nice, happy, uplifting, beachy, kind of like an exotic type of scent. Performance-wise, perhaps not the best, as I find with many of the Bulgari scents. Yeah, it is sunny, it is feminine, it is happy, it's beachy, not in a suntan lotion type of vibe, but like a beautiful holiday in an exotic location. Very feminine, but I find that the price is so high that for me, I don't know what I was expecting. It doesn't wow me. You can find scents that are similar type of vibe on the market. It is nice enough. Would I pay full price? No. The next one I picked up also on a very good deal online is Jasmine Rouge by Tom Ford. And I've heard about it on the YouTube quite a lot. Funny enough, in our department stores where they're selling Tom Ford fragrances, the exclusive line is always like the testers have been sprayed out and they're empty, so I'm kind of like smelling the cap but can't get very good idea. This is a very nice, warm, sunny, happy, with a little bit of a spice jasmine perfume. So it does have lots of notes, as you would imagine with a Tom Ford Privé line. So it has cinnamon, ginger, bergamot, cardamom, pepper. Then of course it has jasmine, ylang, woodsy notes, and leather and labdanum. Lots of heavy notes, and spicy notes as well. I was expecting something really much more punchy and strong, but it is much more of a floral scent than, you know, kind of like spicy scent. So the jasmine is the center of this and is supported by some spices. Very nice and beachy, little bit of an edge, but totally feminine. Very, even on a sweeter side. A little bit spicy, but nothing over the top at all. especially if you think that Tom Ford's other perfumes are much more unique and much more like hard to pull off. I think this one is quite easy to wear and very feminine to my nose. Yeah, so I am yet to wear this. I was not wowed when I received it because I expected something much more unique. This is a very nice scent for the summer, maybe like on the evening, because it's a little bit sexy but very easy to pull off. I was kind of prepared to be challenged with this one, but it turned out that it's a very wearable jasmine perfume. Now we have come to the perfume that I hinted at and I straight up said what it is. This is Wajon by Parfums de Marly, and this one I was going back and forth whether I should buy it or not. I've heard online quite a good reviews on it, and it's been also compared to Ambre Narguilé and Angel's Share, which, as you know, I'm obsessed once again with Angel's Share and would pick up anything that smells similar in this scent profile. And I found that I really enjoy this scent profile, and I actually don't mind having versions of it in different perfumes in my collection. So this one was the strongest. I will spray just once. This one was kind of the strongest contender among them, like the most full body, much bigger sillage than the Hermes one. And boy oh boy is this delicious. So it does have cinnamon, honey, labdanum, artemisia, ambergris, benzoin, tonka. I am very surprised to see that it doesn't have tobacco. That is shocking to me. I'm reading the notes from Fragrantica because to me that smells exactly like all of these other perfumes that I mentioned that do have tobacco, and I kind of find this aspect to it. It has a darkness, but I think in here it comes from, I guess, patchouli. But it doesn't smell like patchouli, so I don't know what gives that effect, but this perfume is so gorgeous. I can confirm that it does have similarities to the Ambre Alexandrie from Boucheron, Angel's Share. I have not smelled Ambre Narguilé, but I kind of get the idea from what I've heard on different reviews that this one is definitely on par, but it is much stronger. And it's also quite boozy fragrance. Spray with caution. I got so overly excited when I got it first. I sprayed, I think, 4 or 5 times. And then as the evening continued, maybe like an hour later, I sprayed a bit more. And I felt like dizzy because it is so strong. I couldn't bear it anymore. I had to wash it off. But it's beautiful. Spray with moderation. You don't need more than 2 or 3 sprays of this one. It's plenty, trust me. Very good, and I'm really happy to have it. It's a giant 125 ml, I guess. Yeah, 125 ml. You need very little of this, so I guess that's gonna last me forever. And thank you for sticking with me, guys. This is the second to last perfume, and it's my very first Tiziana Terenzi. I fell in love with the packaging, and especially the cap is absolutely magical to me. Expected a lot of this one, especially given the hype of the brand. Like, this is a very well loved brand online, and I was really excited because I found a very good deal on this, and I'm like, this is my chance to try a Tiziana Terenzi perfume. And I'll read you the notes because very kind of intriguing. Starting off with absinthe, star anise, green tea, orange, grapefruit, fig, jasmine, iris, ambergris, heliotrope, sandalwood, lots of vanilla and musk. And I was like, this sounds like fantastic. I can't imagine this not being a very interesting fragrance because, like, look at these notes, right? And in the comments, people were saying that this is similar to Hypnotic Poison by Dior, and I can totally see it. And yes, this perfume is a very nice watered down version of Hypnotic Poison with a bit of a green tea thrown in it. I do not sense any fig. The powderiness of heliotrope is definitely present, and musk and vanilla. So for me, this is even has reminiscence of Kenzo Amour if you mix it with Hypnotic Poison and you water it down. This is very airy, light, close to skin, kind of like a scent, that more intimate scent. It is sweet and nice, alluring, but boy oh boy did I expect something very special, and I was disappointed. So for me, I will wear it, but I'm not wowed, and I'm happy that I didn't pay full price because no. And last but not least, Britney Spears Fantasy. This is blast from the past for me. I have been wearing this a bit, like maybe 10 years ago. I wore this quite a bit. I went through several bottles. And I thought that, you know, nowadays all these niche houses are coming out with perfumes that are meant to smell very sweet, very gourmand, and they're charging quite a bit of money for that, putting it in very nice bottles, etc. And we are buying it, of course, because we want to smell like dessert. But coming back to, you know, 10 years ago, the Fantasy was kind of one of the first perfumes that really smelled like very sugary candy floss thing. And this one has notes of, listen up, kiwi, lychee, quince. I'm all about the quince these days. White chocolate, cupcake, orchid, jasmine, woody note, orris, and musk. If I saw these notes on some niche fragrance, I know I'll be crazy about it and so curious to try, but because this is a super cheapy, a perfume that's been over 10 years on the market, I never think about it. And fact is that it is nice. Of course, it's nothing sophisticated whatsoever. But if you are on the market for something very fun, fruity, super sweet, smelling like, yeah, I don't think I smell cupcake in it. But it does have a roundness of the white chocolate and I guess the cupcake. It just gives it a lot of warmth and roundness, and then you can totally sense the lychee and the kiwi and I guess quince. I don't go out and be like, oh, there's a quince in here, but there is something very fresh and a bit tart. This is a super fun, extremely sweet, gourmand, nothing sophisticated here. You're gonna smell like a freaking candy. So, you know, if that's not your vibe, by all means, I don't want to smell like a candy all the time, but I decided to give it a sniff 10 years later and see what I think. And it's fine. I will wear it. I'll see if I can wear it outside, maybe on some kind of a fun weekend, which, where am I going? The bottom line is I will wear it in the house, apparently, like all the other perfumes. But yeah, this is a fun, very sweet candy scent, and just a note to self, don't dismiss fragrances that are celebrity or perfumes that have been on the market forever and kind of overlook them because we all want this new release, the next best thing that's coming to the market and costs arm and a leg. Yeah, this one was kind of like a fun buy for me and I don't regret it. This was all from me for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this haul. If you did, give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments. Have you tried any of these? What are your opinions? And if you want me to review some of them. And I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye!